Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. Mr.Lunario here, as always. Welcome back. Today we're playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Just came out today as of the recording, so it'll be yesterday when this episode's released. I played the original Stanley Parable, and I absolutely loved it. So when I heard they were doing the Ultra Deluxe, I was excited. But they kept delaying it, and then finally, we get a release date. And I even find the release date amusing. April 27th, employee 427. Yeah, it's great. Anyway, I'm going to jump right in. And it's apparently a sort of reimagining of the original. There's new stuff added to it, but I think it's still at its core the Stanley Parable. But let's see how it goes. I'm excited.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, here we go. Now, I don't remember how to get to all the original endings, but I remember
All
like
of his
their
co-workers
points.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I need to turn my sensitivity up a little bit. There we go, that's a little bit better. Where is everybody? I don't know. It seems like it's the same engine as the original. All of this seems to be the same models.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's follow the narrator. So far, it all seems to be the
Yet
same.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let a ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Let a ball up inside of you. Using slides to assure employees that everything was okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and productive work environment. Not cost efficient. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of... Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Repeat. Or reflect, not repeat. Future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Wait, what? 402 and 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. A big net, some sort of child trap. Space between the teenagers, size of demographic. There's something in the ideas bin. One. No more bins. / trash cans. Naming of ideas bin. Firing of meat. Yes.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nah, I'm good. I love the closet. We can just close it.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I'm not a stickler for graphics. I don't think graphics are important to make what makes a good game really at all.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Man, I'm talking.
As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
This is clearly like 2013 texture, so I think it's the same game. They just put more onto it.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yeah.
Standing around doing nothing?
Yeah.
Why?
Because.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Man, you just chill in a broom closet? Nice humming of the central air.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Says you.
I never would have thought to mention it.
All kinds of cool stuff in here.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path.
It is.
Maybe
the fact that you're talking makes it is.
This with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite."
It is my favorite.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
They probably do.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Heck yeah, man. You know, I'm a big partier. I know how to have a good time.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
That's the appropriate thing to do.
Anyone who happens to be nearby, the person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
I love that line.
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
So now I want to see if you'll do anything more now. Originally, he wouldn't do anything until you left. Anything? No? Hello? Alright, let's go.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Oh, yeah. You be rich. Is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Extreme bathrooms. I can't read that text. What does that say? I don't know. The beige pages. Are hostile take over the new biannual percentage? Do I keep following him or do I try and break it now?
Stepping in.
Fuck it. Never liked the narrator anyway. Do my own thing. It is throwing me off a little bit that this is, like, identical to the original so far. Like, did I load the wrong game? I don't remember this. We're now leaving. Oh no, I thought this was reached through going through the window. No, that's a different thing. I remember this. Now it did ask me if I had played the Stanley Parable before when I was setting settings up and all that. Even oddly asked me for the time. I still love the mouse clicking noises. Escape pod launch bay. I really don't remember this ending too much. I don't remember how it exactly goes. Hello? Hello? The end is loading. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, I think there was a mystery about the computers that I didn't do in the original. Like this one, see, awaiting input. I don't know if it was just like a red herring.
When Stanley came to a set
let's
of
actually
two open
let's actually
doors,
follow him this
he
time.
entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What was the
What could it mean?
password?
Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings. Desperate, Stanley was in such a rush
Oh my god,
to
I
get
was
through
right!
the story as quickly as
Holy
possible.
shit!
He didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
I haven't played this
That
game
kind
in
of
like
anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed
oh,
for a few
5,
moments
6.
with
I haven't
some
played the
calming
Stanley
new age
Parable
music.
in like 6 years. The fact that I remember that. Oh my god.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Now we're gonna have a choice to go to the museum thing, which I personally was one of my favorites. Just seeing all that, seeing the
Descending deeper
development.
into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
So far, I haven't noticed anything branching.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There's an employee named Pirate. Where is he?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it.
I refuse it.
He couldn't accept it. His own life
Impossible.
in someone else's control? Never.
Never.
It was unthinkable. Wasn't
Unimaginable.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his
probable?
entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and
Console
for
disabled.
all.
That's making me think of the computers that I was talking about earlier. Alright, I'm gonna follow through and actually do it.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Off.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won.
Shake's new, I think.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I wonder what it'll do if I want. Oh, no.
Stanley felt
gonna
the
go
cool
backwards.
breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I'm happy for Stanley to be happy. Alright, now we're gonna ignore this bastard. He's not gonna do what he wants.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
That's rather nice.
Stanley simply stood here.
I could do without the step down, though. I'm not a fan of rooms that have just like a step down in like the corner. If it was in the center of the room, I'd be okay with it. But like it's just off to the side. They're just like, yeah, this is going to be just a whole foot lower.
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Yep.
Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I don't remember what goes down, where that elevator goes down.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I know this was here, but I don't remember where it goes.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Oh, I remember this now.
From here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh my god.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
I don't
It's
know,
clearly...
man.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Sure thing.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Well, that is all the time I have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, have a lovely day.